I hope after that intro, you're excited to start designing your ideal life. And that's going to begin by setting goals, finding and designing your life vision. Now, if you remember in the introduction, I shared with you something that I call a personal navigation system. Now, to go a little deeper on that, just like you would have your personal navigation on your phone, we all have our own internal personal navigation system. The problem is most of us have designed our personal navigation system by default, not by intention. And what I want for you is not only to understand and learn what this personal navigation system even means, but how you're going to be taking the steps to start designing your own. Your personal navigation system is your North Star. It's your guiding light. It's your compass that guides you every single day to honor your personal values, priorities, and goals in your life. It's about you never having to sacrifice your family and your well-being for your job. I never want to hear from another client, Keith, I am so tired of watching my children grow up through pictures. These are things that are real. And these are things that because you and I get to work through this, you're going to be able to avoid. So let's start digging into what this personal navigation system encapsulates and what it's made of. What this is that's actually going to guide you to creating what your ideal life looks like starting today. Well, here's a snapshot of what it looks like right here. Now, we may have heard that phrase, begin with the end in mind. However, with self-management, you have to begin with really looking at the big picture. Sure, you want to begin with the end in mind. That's your vision. However, we need to focus on where life happens, which is today. Guess what lives in the moment? Your routine. So notice here on the top, it says vision. Now, most of the time, and the reason why people struggle with designing a routine or a calendar that works for them is because they do it the wrong way. They sit down and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing I'm supposed to do called time blocking, and I'm going to take every activity that I engage in. I'm going to schedule a specific allocated amount of time every day throughout my week. And inevitably, at the end of every day, people come to me and they say, Keith, I've tried it and I never, ever, ever end the day getting everything I want done. And I do it at a sacrifice to my health. I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overloaded. Hear me when I say it doesn't have to be that way. We're actually going to start from the top, not from the bottom. You see, if you start designing a routine without identifying your vision, your priorities, values, and goals, then whatever you design and follow is not going to lead you towards ultimately where you want to be. So it's like getting in a car and saying, hey, I want to drive. I don't know where I want to go, and I'm going to put a blindfold on. Rather than saying, hey, I'm in New York and I want to drive to California and I'm going to enjoy the journey. And that starts with, what does that end destination look like? That's your vision. That is, in essence, a snapshot of what your ideal life looks like. Now, keep in mind, I'm just giving you a 2-minute overview of what the personal navigation system includes. We're then going to break it down step by step. Well, once you have your vision, which includes every area of your life, finances, spirituality, your career, your skills, it could be values of adventure, of connection, of love, of making an impact, of creativity. These are the things that are all part of what you want your ideal life to look like in every area of your life. Because from then you'll be able to pull out your priorities and your values. Well, what's a value? A value essentially is who you are when you are fully self-expressed. So, as I alluded to before with some examples of values, some of my personal values are my family, making an impact, connection, adventure, travel, love, creativity, extreme self-care. The list goes on. And as I'm sharing these values with you, if you could see my face now, you'll see that I was smiling because these values are what makes me whole. This is a true, authentic reflection of who I am. And unfortunately, when we do not honor our values, that means you will be out of your integrity. And integrity doesn't always mean honesty. It means who you are when you're whole and complete. In other words, you know you're in your integrity and you'll feel whole and complete when you are always honoring your values. And conversely, if you're not honoring your values, if you're compromising them at the expense of a career or a goal that maybe is even the wrong goal for you, you will always feel off, stressed, and feeling as if you're pushing to get a result rather than having something pull you forward. Now, of course, once you have your vision and now you've pulled out your values and identify who you are, the things that make you, the things that you cherish in your life, now it's time to design some goals. But it's just not about designing goals. It's about designing the right goals, which I call value-based goals. And once you design those value-based goals, which you'll be doing throughout this course, only then can you define and design your strategy. So what's your strategy to achieve your goals? Okay, well, a lot of companies and salespeople and managers are really good at sharing strategies. Okay, here's our sales strategy. Go to it. Here's our onboarding strategy. Here's our HR strategy. Here's our procurement strategy. Whatever that strategy or process is, there needs to be something that ignites that strategy, and those are your activities. So the activities are going to be what's reflected and aligned with your strategy. In other words, if you engage in the right activities, your activities complement your strategy. Well, now that you have your activities defined, the specific and measurable activities that you need to engage in that honor your personal and professional goals, values, and vision, where do you think these activities live? Where are we going to recognize them? Where are we going to find them? That's right, in your routine. All roads go back to time management. As you could see from living your vision, your routine is in essence a manifestation of your ideal life. So by us creating your routine, we are creating your ideal life.